What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're back with another tune from Anti-Flag. I was sort of feeling it after I did the last reaction of theirs, so I decided to come back for another tune. This time we're going to go to their Terror State album. It's another album they did on Fat Records, just like their album Underground Network, which I've talked about already. We're going to listen to a tune. What year did this come out? I'm going to say this can't be any later. Oh, it's 03. I was going to say it can't be later than 02. I would have been wrong, but not by much. This came out 03. I really do love this album. It has a sort of, you know, it fits lyrically with a lot of their other albums, but I feel like musically it feels pretty far away from where they were in the earliest days, and I don't say that in a bad way. I really enjoy the maturation of their sound. I've talked about it with other bands like Propagandhi or Iron Maiden, who, you know, I've sort of gone on a deep dive on more recently, but the point is, I enjoy when bands, over the course of their albums and career, explore different sonic spaces within a general, like, genre, idiom. So, like I said, I really do like the sound of this album. We're going to listen to a tune called You Can Kill the Protestor, but You Can't Kill the Protest. I think it's a pretty straightforward song lyrically, though it does use some sort of graphic imagery to make its point, and that is that, you know, no matter how much the dictators of the world, no matter how much the sort of juntas of the world try to silence dissidents and try to, you know, shoot activists, imprison them, literally disappear them from the face of the planet, it's not going to make a difference, because in the end you can't kill ideas in the same way you can kill people. You can kill the protester, you can, and you know, that's your ethical choice, and ultimately a very unethical one at that, and many hard men, leaders around the world, do try to silence, you know, critical media coverage. You know, they ban outlets that say a bad word about their regime. They literally kidnap people or arrest them on trumped up charges, or they throw them in jail for being, like, you know, terrorists or potential you know, enemies of the state or whatever, merely for saying, I don't like the way that this politician or this leader says this or that or does this policy for our country, and so on. But the reality is, no matter how many people you arrest, and especially in an era when information, good and bad, can spread as rapidly and comprehensively as it does in the modern era with, you know, social media and information's technology, although again there is a dark underbelly to that, because misinformation and disinformation can spread just as easily. But in a world where information and ideas are now sort of free and in the air and on the internet and so on, ultimately, no matter how many protesters you kill, no matter how many people you arrest, you know, if the idea is good, good ideas will persist. They will find their way from brains to brains to brains. So I think that's what the song is about, ultimately, that, like, look, you can arrest people, you can cut off their hands so they can't raise a fist, you can slice off their ears so they can't hear the truth, you can do all these horrible things to people who simply just want to have, like, a more fair and equitable society. But you're fighting a losing battle, you know, and while you're busy committing, like, grave, immoral acts, those ideas are still going to be out there. They're still going to be transmitted from people to people, and from group to group who may oppose your, you know, authoritarian regime. So that's what I think the song's about. Let me know if you have a different take, or at least a more, like, detailed or elaborate take. But here we go. This is You Can Kill the Protestor, but You Can't Kill the Protest. From the album The Terror State by Anti-Flag on Fat Records, 2003. I saw them live in, like, 05. I mentioned with Rise Against. What a show, right? They played this. This song killed it. I think it was the tour for this album, so maybe it was like 04. Yeah, I'm not scared of you. I'm here to resist you. I love that dead pause with his hard, like, gritty voice coming in to fill the gap. Shout out to Justin for the shout. I love that, the little sort of guitar flavor at the end. It's a top tune. I mentioned I'm a big fan of this album. I like a lot of their work, the early days, the middle period, more recent times. But this album, for some reason, it really does stand out to me. I remember like caning the crap out of it in my car and just playing it a lot, a year or two after it came out. And as I mentioned, I think part of that was because I saw them on tour for this album, and it just, several songs really hit. So then, rush back to my car to play it. Nevertheless, let me know what you think. Let me know, if you're fond of this album or if there's a different tune on this album that you really think is great. I would like to react to more of it. As I mentioned, whether it's Anti-Flag or any other band that you see back here, or maybe some others, I have, my Mr. Tom Servo Discogs collection. Just go check it out. It's publicly visible. You can go to the punk folder. Anything you see in there, let me know if there's something you want to hear reacted to. Shout out to all the punks out there who have commented on the videos. A couple in particular, Ryan, you're a champion, commented on a number of videos, including checking out some other different types of music that you weren't familiar with before. I mentioned I think that's one of the most punk rock things I've ever seen. I absolutely love that. Shout out to Jimmy. He's been very supportive of the videos and made a couple requests for Propagandhi tunes. He's a big Propagandhi fan. So shout out to you guys and all the other people who have commented on the punk rock videos. I feel like music does bring people together, but there seem to be very few music communities as cool and supportive as the punk rock community. I would say the acid techno community is right there. It's a very similar vibe. So again, to me, punk rock and acid techno are sort of linked in my brain, whether or not everybody makes that connection. But yeah, the punk rock people who have found their way to this channel, you guys are awesome, and more videos will come. So let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me react to. Other than that, have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.